Us back for a very, very good topic. And I think it's going to be completely relevant to this month because we're celebrating LGBTQ plus History Month. And you've said that you've come back and have a conversation about it.
Yeah. So, hi everybody. I'm Jazz. I've been like a past. I've been past wellbeing coach.
Past wellbeing. No.
Yeah, I'm a historical figure on the Israeli landmine.
Yeah. I think you're still on the website.
Actually. I think I am. But I currently am a youth worker for a charity called No Limits in Southampton.
Brilliant.
And yeah, so I work with young people in the emergency department on the island, but also I used to do this. I love doing this, and I love talking about LGBTQ plus kind of mental health and the awareness around it. And I think it's a really important subject. Thank you for having me back as well. Very excited.
It's an absolute pleasure. And just like any comments that you have, guys, please pop them up there. We'll do our best to read all of the comments that come through. If we don't get back to you, it's only because they come up quite fast. Sometimes we might miss you, but we will try our best. Oh, look.
Hi, Jeanette. How are you doing?
It's lovely to see you.
Brilliant to see everybody. I didn't see you, but to see everybody today.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. So with the No Limits thing, Jazz, just because it's a bit, sometimes for me personally, I find it a bit confusing about what's going on in the community. And one of the reasons that, I invited you here is to talk a little bit about it, because it's not just young people. You go up to what age is it?
25.
25, yeah.
And I support young people in the hospital and also in the community if they need some support to access services and to engage with services and things like that. It's really important. It's a really nice job.
Yeah.
And, my background's in mental health and this kind of stuff. So it's a really good part of who we are and what we do. But also part of it is sharing information about the services that are out there for access. And, LGBTQ plus support is really important. There's a lot out there that people might not know about or can access. But I will say Israeli people have done a very good job this month of advertising it on Facebook. I've seen a lot of posts about the different access to the different groups, especially Breakout Youth, that's a part of the No Limits bubble, so to speak. It's a charity of its own. And so it's really great that that access has been given out on the web page as well.
Absolutely.
We've got this is going to run the same. We've got a bunch of questions, haven't we, to answer and to talk about. And if you've got any questions, you've got any feedback on the questions yourself about your experiences, because I'm a gay person. But my experience as a gay woman is going to be vastly different than anybody else's. Anybody's others' identities, their gender, their experiences with their sexualities or their gender. And there's going to be people whose families, who are allies, who might not understand it or might have some opinions about it. And this is a safe space. It's a valid space. Of course, if there is any indication of any kind of abusive comments or things like that, we have got moderators in the background who will remove them. Because there is a line around respecting others and being in that space. And creating a safe space where people can have a discussion. The LGBT community have a lot of mental health links. Being LGBT in this community or being a marginalised group does come with more risks to your well-being and your mental health.
Definitely.
And to other things that will directly affect your mental health and your emotional health. So I think that's a really important subject to talk about. And we've got questions that were hopefully going on the same line.
So if we have the first question, there we go. What is the importance of this month then, Jazz?
Well, this month signifies the kind of historical things that have gone on during LGBTQ experiences. It celebrates the people who have paved the way for kind of rights and for access and for things like the abolishment of Section 28, the experiences that we've had, the people who've stood up and fought against the really atrocious things that used to happen in our community. It gives a space for people who are LGBTQ plus to talk and to be open and to celebrate their history and to see how far they've come, but still recognize how much further we've got.
Definitely.
And to give awareness, because you might see gay flags, pride flags, you might see all these flags outside, but that doesn't necessarily reflect how people are treated in their own homes, how
their communities.
Yeah. And actually, you can see all the you can see the and also having conversations about things like the way people celebrate it, and the problems with kind of discrimination within the LGBT community. There's all these conversations that have a platform to be had because of these kind of months, and hopefully we'll continue to have these conversations past the months and the Pride months and things across the year.
Definitely. Yeah. Jeffrey's just popped on, said welcome back, Jan.
Thank you, Jeffrey. I hope you're well.
Nice to see you, Jeffrey. Any questions or anything like that, Jeffrey, just pop them on there and we'll do our best to answer them, won't we?
I love the description of the welcome everyone to the life with Jazz, and that one present and former wellbeing coach having a discussion.
I'm the present one.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
I love that.
Oh, Jason, I'm going to the Isle of Wight Pride Recruitment Day at Key Arts.
That's today.
I've been volunteering with them for some years now. That's amazing.
So that if anybody is interested, I think it's currently open until about 6:30 p.m. tonight down at Key Arts. They're looking for volunteers for the Isle of Wight Pride event, and kind of having a look at the opportunities that are going on down there. So if you are interested in that, and there's a lot of creative things that come from Pride as well, and you don't have to be LGBTQ plus to volunteer. You can be an ally, you can be in the community,
just supporting the
celebrating
cause, isn't it? Really, and celebrating. It's fun.
It's a place to celebrate. Your Pride is a place to celebrate yourself, but celebrate the people who are in that, the LGBT community. And
definitely. Jason's just put 12:30 to 6:30. Come along and see. They're a lively bunch. That's amazing.
Let's say hello. Have we got a next question? What does this month mean to me?
You personally.
Me personally.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I've accidentally covered it in the last question. It definitely gives me a space.
Accidentally.
I do this. It gives me a space to reflect, I think. Yeah,
absolutely. And I think just for me, it kind of brings it more into my awareness, because some of the things that I'm not so good on social media and stuff, as you will attest to. And some things just got past me by completely, and it just makes me really think about it and what's going on in our community on the island, and friends and family as well. All of this stuff's amazing.
Sorry, I've just seen a comment, so I'm just blocking them.
Okay. Don't worry, Lucas will probably do it.
I know. If you didn't know, I get into the habit of accidentally doing it while I'm on a...
She gets easily distracted.
I'm very easily distracted.
Which is brilliant. So it's all done.
All done.
It's all been blocked. It's all fine.
These kind of months give you a chance to reflect on. Firstly, it gives me a chance to reflect on my own personal history. I can think about the things that I've been through. I can look about the things that, but actually I very rarely as a gay person reflect on the people who paved the way. I reflect on the experiences that I've had and the negative experiences that I've had, but sometimes you can be so bogged down by that and that feeling that you don't belong, they don't look at the people who have accepted you and the people who've actually fought for that. And it's a nice place for me to reflect personally in my own life and with the people I support as well. It gives me a chance to learn about the areas of the community that I'm not so educated on, where I don't have a personal experience. And to recognize the privilege that I hold as one of the more, I guess, traditionally accepted parts of the community as well. If we talk about like trans women or people of color who are also in the LGBTQ community, they have a lot of different things to me in different areas where I don't experience that same level of fear. And but also using my voice as somebody who is open and talks about it often to help uplift others and not take that away from them and stuff. So it is a really important month in general for me. I think it gives me that chance to just reflect,
which is one of the most important things, isn't it? Having time to reflect, as we're always saying with anything.
Definitely.
Brilliant. If we could have the next question.
I'm really enjoying your jumper, by the way. It's very leafy.
It's very spring.
Yeah, it's very spring.
Well, this is what I thought I'd wear because we need a bit of spring.
We do.
After the wind and the sleet and the snow.
Yeah. I hope everybody was okay with the storm, by the way. It was quite a blustery time.
I know.
So yeah. Do you feel supported? How can we support others? So, I mean, I feel supported, yeah.
Yeah.
I've got a community of people who have my back.
And a family.
And a family who are supportive. And my experiences in the community have been mostly positive. I've had things that I have had experiences from being gay on the Isle of Wight, especially where it has traditionally been quite a conservative.
Yeah.
Not politically conservative. It is politically conservative, but it's also been quite a conservative kind of mindset. And that's kind of had an effect on how people have perceived me. And so that experience, I think I would have had a much worse outcome if I didn't have the support that I had from my friends and family.
Yeah.
And I also didn't attend groups. So I used to attend a group by Youth Pride when I was a little bit younger. It's now called Breakout Youth, which is a fantastic group. And they gave you that kind of extra time and support and to talk about it and feel comfortable with it.
And that's on the island?
Yeah, so Breakout Youth is it's a youth group. So it's run, I believe, from 11 to 25, I think, off the top of my head. Yeah. But they're a very good group. They're very confidential and private as well. You can find all the information on Breakout Youth's website. It's actually on the Iseropia website because I know it was advertised yesterday on the Iseropia page.
I did see the poster for it, yeah. I didn't know if it was online or actually face-to-face.
Yeah, it's face-to-face, yeah.
That's brilliant.
It's both. Jason said, I feel supported by friends, family and friends. I feel that Isle of Wight Pride began the process that Iseropia have helped me continue. So I know that I'm supported by both. I think that's so important, Jason. It's so important. Oh, I accidentally closed your message there. My bad. Sorry, Lucas. I know I keep messing around. I need to take my hands off, put them up in the air for the rest of the session. But
sit on your hands.
Sit on my hands. It's so important that you feel supported. And there's going to be areas where we feel like we need to get more support in and things like that. But in general, I'm so happy to see that, Jason. And the other question was, how can we support others? I mean, the basics of it is to listen.
Yeah.
You don't need to you don't need to know how it feels to be a part of the community and to feel the negative things that happen and the discriminations or the mindsets or that you don't need to necessarily understand that.
Yeah.
But to have empathy for that person, it doesn't take having personal experience. It takes listening and being there and allowing yourself to challenge your own stuff sometimes.
I think actually what you've highlighted there is something that we feel really strongly about anyway, isn't it? With mental health as well, is that you don't need to have necessarily been in those circumstances or understand exactly where someone's coming from to be able to give your time, give a listening ear, empathetic, genuine, response to someone. You can support someone anyway, can't you? Just generally across the board.
It sometimes can feel really nerve-wracking to ask things through fear of getting it wrong.
Yeah.
But actually, you're allowed to not know everything. And most people are understanding to that. If you're willing to learn or you're willing to just respect somebody's pronouns, somebody's identity, who somebody loves, who somebody wants to be with, if you're willing to respect that you might not understand it, but actually that's okay. You can learn and grow. Have I just accidentally gone into another question? I haven't. I always do this. Respecting people's identity. Why is it important, and what can we do to be presenting inclusively? It really does fall into that. If you're allowing and preparing yourself to learn, and being an alloy. Sorry.
A metal alloy.
Being an alloy wheel.
Can I be your alloy?
You can be my alloy, yeah.
Brilliant.
Being an alloy, I said it again. Being an ally doesn't mean
Jason knows
being
an
ally doesn't mean getting it all right and never getting anything wrong.
No.
And it doesn't mean being perfect and not making mistakes. And you are okay how you are. If you're willing to learn, you're willing to.
Yeah.
And sometimes it is about even me and somebody in the LGBTQ, I'm identified in that community. I've still got a lot to learn about the way I speak, the way I identify myself, the things we say growing up that we don't think are upsetting until you actually challenge them as an adult and go, well, I've been saying, for example, oh, that's gay.
Yeah.
You know, as a child, because that's the way we were described, and actually that can be quite damaging. To some people, it might not be to others. It really depends on how they feel about it.
I think it's good to also because we do mental health language as well, and it's important to hold each other accountable sometimes.
Yeah, and not be afraid to. It's not a personal attack.
No.
Or it's not because you're being homophobic or being transphobic or you don't care or love that person or don't accept them. It's the challenging things is actually a way we learn. We talk about failure being the first attempt at learning.
Yeah.
We learn and we grow through our experiences. I'm someone in the community, but I'm also someone in the community where when I came into the community, which was like 10, 11 years ago when I first came out and started to really learn about it, the way we discussed things and spoke about things were completely different to how they are now.
Yeah.
And it's a continued learning experience.
Continually.
Don't be afraid to get it wrong. That's the one thing. Don't be afraid to get it wrong. Don't be afraid to ask. Don't be afraid to say, what are your pronouns? Can you explain why you have these pronouns? Don't be afraid to ask that if you're doing it genuinely to learn rather than to be to upset somebody or to get, a reaction.
Yeah.
Then there's no harm in doing that to learn and to grow. The best thing that you can do is try and be there and respect people's identities.
And like Jason's just put there, listen and be welcoming and accepting as well. That's all that all people are asking for, isn't it?
Yeah, and Jason also had a good point about allies. They're so valuable, and allies are perfect people to give space and platform to marginalized people to be able to have their voices heard and to have the people behind you that are going to have your back and to be able to stand with you, not to take the spotlight, but to help hoist the spotlight onto the people that need to speak up about those issues.
Absolutely.
That is an ally, and you can be an ally just by being there and being present and not being afraid to learn or to challenge people, and to and that's the fundamentals of it. But of course, everyone's got their own different ways.
Definitely.
And it's all about listening and respecting and learning.
Yeah.
Have we got another question
that Jazz hasn't already covered?
Look, I'm very old into this trade, so to speak. Learn to practice self-acceptance and unlearning a toxic relationship with yourself.
That's just in general, isn't it? That just goes without saying, just in everything that we live and do. And it's so much easier said than done, isn't it? Sometimes, but this is what we're trying to constantly challenge at Isopia is learning that self-acceptance. So first comes self-awareness, as we know, and then you've got to learn to love yourself. It sounds really cheesy, but the best relationship you're going to have is with yourself. The longest relationship is going to be with yourself, so you might as well make it a good one. And learning the toxic relationship is definitely easier said than done, and that's when we have to try and put the tools and skills into place that we kind of know. That comes down to practicing what you preach, talking positively to you, identifying that inner critic, and learning that you don't always have to believe your own thoughts as well.
I think when it comes to the accepting yourself and accepting who you are, it is about changing how you think about yourself, how you talk about yourself, how you learn about yourself, and that takes time.
Yeah.
And And also there's a lot of guilt and shame that comes with it. Maybe you've spoken certain ways that have been rude, or you've been homophobic. There's loads of different things that we can then guilt and trip ourselves in to then not be able to move forward because we can't get over that part. And it takes time to just say, okay, my past isn't going to define who I am. You know, I'm going to accept that this has happened and that I haven't figured this out about myself till now, but actually I have now. And living in the moment going, I deserve to be happy in whatever way that is for me, whoever I am, and be proud of that. And being proud of yourself takes time, and it takes work, and it takes a lot of self-reflection and a lot of kind of stuff to get to where you are. But it will happen. Definitely. It's just finding that place for yourself, that love for yourself that other people have for you and want to accept you for.
And just say, like you said just then, it's so important to recognize that you deserve to be loved and have happiness
authentically, and the kind of love you deserve to be loved as the person that you are, not the person that society accepts, has accepted of you in the past. You know, we all kind of go, like, when I was approaching coming out, my whole brain was like, I need to hide it. I need to just pretend to be the person that's always the couple that are always on the TV. It's never two women. It's always a man and a woman. I need to just pretend that I am like everybody else, because then I'll be accepted and I'll be loved. But they weren't really loving me. They were loving who I was putting on in order to not deal with the other things that were going, on in that time. And I mean, about that, it's important. Safety is important in that, and obviously, talking more about that, that's more of a coming out thing. But it's important to have that relationship with yourself, accept in yourself, and don't worry too much about coming out until you have accepted it in yourself. You have given yourself that time, and also it's the right place and the safety is in place for you when you can do that as well. It's so important. Don't feel like you have to come out just because other people are out. Don't feel like you have to come out because your partner is pushing you to come out.
No.
Don't feel like you have to come out because everybody else is out and I should be proud of it and I'm an ally. I'm in this community, but I'm in the closet. You come out when it's safe for you to do so, and you know that you've got the people behind you, or the person, or the self-esteem behind you to be able to embrace it. And not resent it at the time, and that knowing that point,
safe, isn't
and you're ready to,
like you just said as well, it's safe to do so for yourself. Your
journey is your personal journey. It's not anybody else's. It's not dictated by National Coming Out Day. It's not dictated by Pride Month. It's not dictated by people on the television or the people in our lives who might be kind of saying, oh, come out. It's about you and when you're ready. And
like anything, it's your own journey, isn't it?
You deserve to have your experiences. Authentic experiences.
Brilliant. Have we got another question?
I feel like we need a little wheel.
A wheel?
Like a... Let's spin the question wheel.
I'm not sure if we have got another question.
Have we not?
Oh, there
we go.
That might be the end of the questions.
Well, that's all right. We've only got 6 minutes left because it's only a half an hour live, isn't it?
It is only a half an hour live. Has anyone else got any questions that they want to ask?
And while the comments come back, I'll tell you a little bit about some of the support that's out there. I mean, Breakout Youth for up to 25-year-olds is a really good resource. There is a lot of... Isle of Wight Pride's Facebook page has a lot of resources for local things. It's Out on an Island, which is a project that's just kind of it had an art installation in Independent Arts recently. It's got a lot of information on it. There is a lot of local community support out there, and I am now forgetting exactly what it's called. There's also a lot of support. There's support through Age UK for people who have had experiences of hate crime. I think that's really important to mention. So if you feel like there's the support through Age UK for that.
Age UK do so much stuff, don't they? So good, so good.
And there's a lot of local community. There's a lot of things on Facebook about little groups for LGBTQ plus people to express who they are and meet up with each other and things like this.
I think that's what's so amazing about the LGBTQ community is that there's so much stuff online. There's so many resources that you could use, so that even if something's not in your like direct vicinity, you can still tap into these other communities all across, well, England and the world. It's just incredible. It really does blow my mind just how supported.
And if you're an ally and you're wanting to find out about how to support your person in your life, the person who you feel like you need to learn more for, ask them, to be open with them, to ask them about their experiences, because my experience as a gay woman is going to be vastly different to another experience of another gay woman, and that goes across the board, that goes across all of the letters of the LGBTQ plus community. And don't be afraid to ask. And don't be afraid to do your research, because being an ally in any way is so important. It's so valuable. And if you are in the LGBTQ plus community and you do need to talk to people, have a look at the local groups that are in your area. And I mean, if you use Facebook and social media and things and you're worried, do it through a pseudonym. Protect your safety. Protect your safety and protect who you are. And give yourself the best space where you can feel comfortable talking about things and getting the support before you take the next steps in what you feel you need. Reach out. And also, it's not just exclusively LGBTQ plus services or support that can help. It comes with a lot of mental health, so don't be afraid to reach out for mental health support. To get that kind of support in that you need. Obviously, Iseropia is one of them for people who live on the Isle of Wight, and you can self-refer by calling 01983217791.
Brilliant, well done.
Jazz. One you buy one, you get one free. I don't know what you get free, but we'll go with
get a Jazz.
I get one Jazz with every order. But there's support out there. If you're not local to the Isle of Wight, your GPs are usually quite a safe bet.
Just to signpost
you in the right direction, and you're valid and you're seen, and get the support that you deserve, and don't be afraid to address the things that you need to address in your mental health,
and reach out to people. And I think you'll be pleasantly surprised how much support there is out there.
I'm going to get a load of links to support groups, support services that are around. I'm not going to say them on air just on the basis that I'm well known for butchering words. I've been calling you alloys instead of alloy.
I don't mind. I quite like both.
So I'm going to get some. There'll be some links, and there's also quite a lot of links that have been posted over the last couple of weeks and month by the No Limits, not No Limits, Iseropia team. So please do check that out.
I forgive you for getting where you worked for like 5 minutes. To be fair, you don't, Anyway, it's been absolutely lovely having you.
Check out Breakout Youth, because I know that they are fantastic. And I need to plug them because they're great. Well, I hope everybody has had it's lovely to be back. It feels a little bit straight. It feels a little bit surreal. And I think I wore this. I feel like I wore this exact check shirt for my last live that I did.
Can someone verify that, please?
I think I've got
someone find out.
It's one of my go-tos. My smart shirts.
Smart shirts, brilliant.
I flattened my hair because I was very nervous about the wind taking it off into another direction, so to speak. So
it's always in that direction.
No, it's usually a bit poofier. A bit more.
That's true. That is true.
Have a lovely
candy floss.
That's exactly it.
Okay.
Have a lovely evening, everybody. Thank you for watching. Take care.
Bye.
See everybody. Bye.